Morning. Welcome to day 20 of our 21-day Mastering My Money Mindset Challenge. I'm so excited. Just 2 more days, today and tomorrow, and we will have completed our 21 days, our deep dive on our financial issues, our blocks, some of our dysfunctional habits and behaviors and beliefs and thoughts. And hopefully it has been insightful for you. It definitely was for me. I started my financial journey into discovering my beliefs and my habits and my behaviors and really starting to dig into this stuff probably, oh my gosh, almost 15 years ago. I remember the first time I have a free money test that I take, and the first time I took a test similar to that, I was horrified at what my beliefs were. I could not believe how dysfunctional they were, and I had no idea, like I didn't even know what I didn't know about what all my beliefs were. But hopefully these last 20 days, if you've done every single exercise, has given you some clarity, some insight into your own habits and beliefs. And hopefully, that will serve you and you'll start to execute and make tweaks and changes based on what you did learn. So what are we going to cover today? So today I wanted to cover another one of the financial PTSD symptoms, one of the financial disorders, and this would be financial dependency. And I've known quite a few people who have in my sphere of influence over the last 30 years who struggled with financial dependency, and they came for a variety of different reasons, how it came to be. So financial dependency basically means that you are in a position of relying on another person for your financial means, that you are completely dependent. Typically, someone who is financially dependent, they tend to not be engaged in any of the they're not participating in the financial creation of the wealth, nor the managing of it. Now, the problem with that is that you will lose you will lose your self-esteem and your self-worth slowly. It happens over time, just slowly over time, because you feel helpless, and that helplessness can lead to depression because you feel like a child. You could be a grown adult, but you feel like a child because you really have no control over your financial means. And in the current way in which we live, you need money to live, to eat food, to stay in a home, things like that. So staying in a position of financial dependence can be very detrimental to people's self-esteem, self-worth, can cause depression, anxiety. And the other thing, what they found is there was a study done, and they found that 46% of people who have left domestic violence situations will actually return to the abuser because of their financial dependence. So creating financial independence for yourself is incredibly important to your self-worth, to your self-esteem, to establishing a very strong foundation to have the ability to make the choices that you want to make in your life. And when you are financially independent, if you are in a relationship or a marriage that is toxic and dysfunctional, if you have the financial means to leave, you will leave. And if you don't, more than likely you will stay. So, how does this happen? How does someone become financially independent? Financially dependent? Well, there's several different categories. So someone could be a trust fund baby. They inherit a bunch of money and they basically never had to work their entire life. And the problem is that when you are on the when you are carried, essentially, when you as a human being are carried, especially as an adult, when you are financially carried and you don't actually have to get up every day, show up somewhere, do a job, do something like that, it weakens your character. There's something about the human psyche, about the human personality that needs to contribute, that needs to be a part of something, that wants to feel like they are contributing and doing something of value. When you get up every morning and you don't have that, it definitely whittles away and causes lots of anxieties and self-esteem issues and self-worth issues, and then it makes it harder and harder and harder for you to actually go out there and take different risks and things like that. So the other way that you can do is that there's something known as like generational welfare recipients, right? So the children grow up, being their parents were on welfare and that's all they know, and then they end up being on welfare, and it's like a generational thing. And now you've adopted this entitlement mentality where you actually think that you are entitled to things to just be handed to you. But things being handed to you isn't, it sounds good, but it's not good because it weakens you. And the problem is at some point that sugar daddy, that welfare check may end. And then what are you going to do? You're not going to have the emotional and the physical and the spiritual strength to be able to stand on your own 2 feet. There is something profoundly strengthening and building of your character when you have to stand on your own 2 feet and figure things out for yourself. Figure out how you're going to pay for that bill. Figure out how you're going to put the groceries on the table. Figure out how you're going to keep the heat on. Those things build character and make you stronger. And when you are denied that opportunity, it makes you weaker, and it's just not good. And so what happens? What are some of the symptoms that people can get when they are in a place of, financial dependence? Well, you can become resentful and angry. You get really angry because of that feeling of helplessness. Like your self-worth is not great. You feel helpless. You feel like other people have control over in your life, and that makes you angry and resentful. And that never serves anything. It never, creates a positive experience for yourself. And the other thing is you could be so it's either a welfare recipient, or you could be a generational recipient of a huge inheritance where you're a trust fund baby, or you could be a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home dad. Either one, doesn't matter. But when you don't have any control over your financial future, you don't feel like you have any voice. That's the problem, is that when you don't contribute to the financial creation or the financial management of the funds, it essentially over time will make you swallow your truth. Because you're not paying the bills, you will not say things. You'll start taking shit you shouldn't take, or you just lose your voice because you feel like you don't have the right to speak your truth, or you don't have the right to speak how you feel about how the money will be spent because you didn't help generate it. So there's a lot of reasons why financial dependence is very, very detrimental to your self-worth, your self-esteem, and the problem is that it keeps you locked in places you may not want to be, and that's not a good thing. We always want to have the ability to, move on, make our lives better, and things like that. So what I want you to do now is I want you to think about, ask yourself, are you financially dependent in any way? Is this something that is an issue for you? Or are you in a situation in which you're carrying someone who is financially dependent on you? And how does that make you feel? So in both situations, whether it's you are being financially dependent and someone else is taking care of you, or you're taking care of someone else, I want you to do the pros and cons of both of those situations. What does it feel like? What is it doing to you if you're carrying someone else? And what is it doing to you if someone is carrying you and you're swallowing your truth? What is the consequences of in your life for being financially dependent on someone else and not standing on your own 2 feet financially and being able to decide for yourself about, and participating in the financial decision making in your dynamic, whether it's a relationship, marriage, whatever. So I hope you found value in that. If you are finding value in these money tests, these questions, I encourage you to take the money test. So go to masteringmymoneymindset.com. I have a free test. This will give you even more insight into what your money beliefs are at the subconscious level. We can only fix something once we realize it's broken, and if you don't realize what your issues are, it makes it very difficult for you to take control of your life and start to make substantial changes and go to the next level. So again, the free test is at masteringmymoneymindset.com. If you liked this video, subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and hit the bell so that you know when I'm going to be uploading new videos. I'm uploading videos all the time. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments. I would love to hear what you have to say about the video. And if you've enjoyed this process, say, just put it in the comments, do a little hashtag of really enjoyed. All right, take care. Bye.